Naranchaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, Text number 9. Tatraha va enam devarshir Hamsayanena pitaram Bhagavantam Hiranyagarbham Upalabhamanaha sahasvaithayarhanena. Try. Sahapita putrabhyam avahitanjali rupataste. Tatraha va enam devarshir hamsayanena pitaram Bhagavantam Hiranyagarbham Upalabhamanaha Sahasaivotha Yarhanena Sahapita putrabhyam avahatanjalir upataste. Anybody volunteering?
Tatra havayanam devarishi Hamsajanena pitaram
Bhagavantam Hiranyagarbham Upalabhamanaha Sahasravaitharyahanena Sahapita putrabhyam Savahitanjali rupataste.
Engage in discussion.
Bhagavantam Hiranyagarbha Sahasaivotthayarhanena Sahapitra putrabhyam Hitanjali upataste.
Tatra, there, hava, certainly, enam, him, devarshihi, the great saint Narada, Hamsayanena, by the swan carrier, Pitaram, his father, Bhagavantam, most powerful, Hiranyagarbham, Lord Brahma. Upalabha manaha, understanding. Sahasa eva, immediately. Utthaya, having stood up. Arhanena, with paraphernalia for worship. Saha, accompanied. Pita putrabhyam, by Priyavrata and his father Swayambhuva Manu. Avahita Anjalihi, with respect and folded hands. Upatasthe, worshipped. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma, the father of Narada Muni, is the supreme person within this universe. As soon as Narada saw the great swan, he could understand that Lord Brahma had arrived. Therefore, he immediately stood up along with Swayambhuva Manu and his son Priyavrata, whom Narada was instructing. Then they folded their hands and began to worship Lord Brahma with great respect. Purport. As stated in the previous verse, Lord Brahma was accompanied by other demigods, but his specific carrier was the great swan. Therefore, as soon as Narada Muni saw the swan, he could understand that his father, Lord Brahma, who is also known as Hiranyagarbha, was arriving. Thus he immediately stood up with Swayambhuva Manu and his son Priyavrata to receive Lord Brahma and offer him respect.
নারদ মুনির পিতা ব্রহ্মা এই ব্রহ্মাণ্ডের শ্রেষ্ঠতম ব্যক্তি। নারদ মুনি সেই মহান হংসকে দর্শন করা মাত্র বুঝতে পেরেছিলেন যে ব্রহ্মা এসেছেন। তাই তিনি তৎক্ষণাৎ উঠে দাঁড়িয়েছিলেন এবং স্বয়ম্ভু মনু ও তার পুত্র প্রিয়ব্রত, যাকে নারদ মুনি শিক্ষা দিয়েছিলেন, তারাও উঠে দাঁড়িয়েছিলেন। তারপর তারা গীতাঞ্জলি পুটে গভীর শ্রদ্ধা সহকারে ব্রহ্মার পূজা করতে শুরু করেছিলেন। তারপরে শ্লোকে উল্লেখ করা হয়েছে যে ব্রহ্মার সঙ্গে অন্যান্য দেবতারাও গিয়েছিলেন, কিন্তু তার বিশেষ বাহন ছিল হংস। তাই হংসটি দেখা মাত্রই নারদ মুনি বুঝতে পেরেছিলেন যে তার পিতা, যিনি হিরণ্যগর্ভ নামেও পরিচিত, তিনি আসছেন। তাই তিনি তৎক্ষণাৎ স্বয়ম্ভু মনু এবং তার পুত্র প্রিয়ব্রত সহ তাকে স্বাগত জানাবার জন্য উঠে দাঁড়িয়েছিলেন এবং তাকে শ্রদ্ধা নিবেদন করেছিলেন।
हिंदी।
नारद मुनि के पिता भगवान ब्रह्मा इस ब्रह्मांड के सर्वश्रेष्ठ पुरुष। नारद जे ही विशाल हंस को देखा, वे तुरंत समझ गए कि ब्रह्मा जी आए हैं। अतः वे स्वयंभू मनु तथा अपने द्वारा उपदेश दिए जाने वाले उनके पुत्र प्रियव्रत सहित अविलंब खड़े हो गए। तब उन्होंने हाथ जोड़कर आदर पूर्वक भगवान की आराधना प्रारंभ की। तात्पर्य, जैसा कि पिछले श्लोक में आया है, ब्रह्मा जी के साथ अन्य देवता भी थे, किंतु उनका विशेष वैशिष्ट विशाल हंस था। अतः जैसे ही नारद मुनि ने हंस को देखा, वे समझ गए कि उनके पिता ब्रह्मा जी, जिन्हें हिरण्यगर्भ भी कहा जाता है, आ रहे हैं। वे ब्रह्मा जी का स्वागत करने तथा उनका सम्मान करने के लिए तुरंत स्वयंभू मनु तथा उनके पुत्र प्रियव्रत सहित उठ खड़े हुए।
ओम अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। प्लीज रिपीट आफ्टर मी। Lord Brahma, the father of Narada Muni, is the supreme person within this universe. As soon as Narada saw the Great Swan, he could understand that Lord Brahma had arrived. Therefore, he immediately stood up along with Swayambhuva Manu and his son Priyavrata, whom Narada was instructing. Then they folded their hands and began to worship Lord Brahma with great respect. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. What language? Huh? Hindi. Huh? Hindi, English. Hindi. Huh? Lucky nobody has asked me to speak in Bengali. ठीक है, कोशिश करेंगे। मुकम करोति वाचालम पंगुम लंघयते गिरिम यत्कृपातमहं वंदे श्री गुरुम दीनतारिणम परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वर। कहानी यहाँ तक शायद आप सबको याद है, फिर भी मैं संक्षिप्त रूप में बताऊंगा। आई विल जस्ट समराइज। द स्टोरी गोज लाइक दिस। Swayambhuva Manu has a son. What is his name? Priyavrata. Priyavrata is supposed to become the king after Swayambhuva Manu. Raja बनना चाहिए. But Priyavrata refuses. प्रियव्रत महाराज प्रियव्रता बताते हैं कि मैं राजा नहीं बनूंगा, ये दायित्व मैं नहीं लूंगा। He is the son of Swayambhuva Manu. That means he is the lord of the king of the whole earthly planet. यानी छोटा मोटा राजा नहीं है, इस पूरा धरती का राजा प्रियव्रता। परंतु प्रियव्रता महाराज नारद मुनि का शिष्य थे, तो इसलिए प्रियव्रत महाराज अपने पिताजी स्वयंभू मनु को बता देते हैं कि मेरे से नहीं होगा, मैं राजा नहीं बनना चाहता हूँ और नहीं बनूंगा। He says, I will not become the king. जो चाहिए करो, पेपर में एडवर्टाइजमेंट डाल दो, एक राजा का ज़रूरत है, इंस्टाग्राम में फेसबुक में लगा दो, राजा का ज़रूरत है। और ये पूरा भूमंडल का राजा है, छोटा मोटा एक गली का राजा नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, पूरा full earth he will rule. So you appoint whomever you like. But I am not interested. Yes, it is because he is a disciple of Narada Muni. नारद मुनि का शिष्य है। तो एक बड़ा संकट, दुनिया में बड़ा संकट खड़ा हो जाता है। ये संकट क्या है? जिसको राजा बनना था वो राजा नहीं बनेगा, बनना नहीं चाहता है। ये तो अभी आजकल के दुनिया का, आजकल के राजनीति देखेंगे तो सब लोग राजा बनना चाहते हैं, सब लोग चीफ मिनिस्टर बनना चाहते हैं, सब लोग। वहाँ देखिए जिसको बनना था वो बोलता है मैं नहीं बनूंगा, मुझे कुछ और करना है। क्या करना है? भक्ति करना है। क्यों भक्ति करना है? हम तो नारद मुनि का शिष्य हैं, हमको एक डर है। व्हाट इज द फियर आई एम हैविंग? आई एम हैविंग दिस फियर दैट इफ आई गेट इन्वॉल्व इन पॉलिटिक्स, मे बी माई भक्ति फॉर लॉर्ड कृष्ण विल रिड्यूस। शायद मेरा भक्ति कम हो जाएगा, क्योंकि राजनीति करना है, राज चलाना है, शासन करना है, समस्याएं आएंगे, लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स विल कम, लॉट ऑफ डिफिकल्टीज, लॉट ऑफ चैलेंजेस। सो आई मे बिकम लेस सीरियस डिवोटी, आई मे बिकम लेस कमिटेड, थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा भक्ति। तो आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड। मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा ये चाहिए कि मैं भक्त बन के रहूँगा। एंड आई वॉन्ट टू सर्व नो, आई मीन नॉट गिरिधारी। That time Narada Muni will instruct. That time, that yuga, they were more into worship of Vishnu. So भगवान श्री विष्णु का आराधना करना चाहता हूँ। तो राजा बनना एक बड़ा it becomes a big challenge, becomes a big obstruction. So they will call Brahma. ब्रह्मा कौन है? ब्रह्मा कौन है? हाँ, बट प्रियव्रता का कौन है? दादा, ग्रैंडफादर। प्रियव्रत महाराज का ग्रैंडफादर है, दादाजी हैं ब्रह्मा। तो ब्रह्मदेव को खबर पहुंच जाता है और ब्रह्मदेव विल कम, ही वांट्स टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम। बट जहां तक ब्रह्मदेव का सवाल है, ये पहली बार नहीं हो रहा है उसका जीवन में। His first sons, 4 sons he had. Who are they? हाँ? नाम बताइए। सनक, सनातन। So he had 4 sons. His first 4 sons were there. They also refused. His first 4 sons, they also refused. They said, no, we don't want to become involved in. That time, Brahma had requested them to become Prajapatis. Prajapati matlab, their job is to increase the population, जनसंख्या को बढ़ाना। बट वो फर्स्ट 4 सन्स ने, वी आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड, हम बनेगा नहीं, चाहे आप जो चाहते वो करो। देन इट इज सेड दैट ब्रह्मा बिकेम वेरी एंग्री। ही सेड, अरे मैंने आपको इसलिए बनाया ताकि आप जनसंख्या बढ़ाएंगे और अभी आप ना बोल रहे हैं, ये कैसे हो सकता है? सो ब्रह्मा बिकम्स वेरी एंग्री at the 4 sons. Actually the 4 sons will say that we will not grow up, यानी हम बड़ा नहीं होंगे। So they will have a small body of 5-year-old or 6-year-old boys, मतलब छोटा 5 साल का 5 साल उम्र का बच्चे जैसे ही रहेंगे। Though they are the first created sons of Brahma, even today so the 4 Chatush Kumaras of Brahma just have 4-year-old, 5-year-old body. They don't grow up. Because they say, if we grow up, कौन जाने क्या होता है, क्या होगा? Maybe we will become attracted. Maybe we will become attracted to some women. Maybe we will become attracted to some power. No, we don't want to grow. वो रिस्क ही नहीं लेंगे, हम इतना ही रहेंगे। तो ब्रह्मा becomes very angry. He tries to convince them, but they will not accept. ब्रह्मा जाके उन लोगों से बात करते हैं, अपने ही बच्चे, 4 बच्चे कुमारों, बात करके समझाने के लिए कोशिश करता है, बट वो लोग मानने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। तो ब्रह्मदेव को गुस्सा आ जाता है। गुस्सा आने के बाद क्या होता है? Anybody knows what happens when Lord Shiva, जब ब्रह्मदेव को गुस्सा आता है शास्त्र में बताया जाता है दैट व्हेन ही बिकम्स एंग्री, बिटवीन हिज आईब्रोज, यहाँ से रुद्र यानी भगवान शिव जी प्रकट होते हैं. दैट इज वाई इट इज सेड दैट शिव जी इज इन द मोड, लिटिल बिट इन द मोड ऑफ tamagun, because a little bit of tamagun is there. Brahma becomes angry, so Shivji comes. But the main point is he is not able to convince. He is not able to convince these 4 children to become Prajapatis. Then Brahma has one more problem also. He has another son called Narada. Brahma has one more son called Narada. Yeah, Narada bhi Brahma wants him also to become a Grihastha or something like that. But Narada refuses. He says, no, I am not interested. Not only Narada Muni does not become a Grihastha, but Narada Muni will, wherever he goes, he will make people into sadhus. जहाँ भी जाता है वो अपना प्रचार करते करते सब लोगों को साधु बना देता है नारद मुनि. जैसे अभी प्रियव्रत महाराज भी नारद मुनि के प्रभाव के अंदर है. So Priyavrat Maharaj also became influenced by Narada. Wherever Narada Muni, जैसे प्रचेत कुमार, the sons of Prachina Barhi, also known as Prachetas, they also didn't want to become kings. They also wanted to renounce. यानी वो लोग भी सब कुछ छोड़ के they wanted to continue their bhakti. So now Brahma is now coming to meet Priyavrata. This is a problem that he deals once in a while. Not that this is the only time he deals with it. Once in a while, whenever Narada Muni, wherever Narada Muni goes or something like that. So, people become very influenced by Narada Muni, by Bhakti. They say, we are not interested. We don't want to become king. जैसे प्रियव्रत महाराज is saying, मुझे अभी डर है कि मैं राजा बनूंगा तो मेरा भक्ति कम हो जाएगा. मैं क्यों बनूं? मुझे सबसे मतलब है भक्ति से. राजा कोई और बन सकता है, मुझे क्यों पकड़ रहे हो आप लोग? किसी और को बनाओ ना. इतने लोग हैं, किसी और को बना दो, मुझे छोड़ दो. प्रियव्रत महाराज is saying, मुझे छोड़ दो. So Brahma comes there. Narada also comes because ये बहुत बड़ा संकट हो गया ना. If Priyavrata Maharaj decides not to become the king, how do they solve the problem? Something they have to find some solution and then solve this problem. But completely opposite, Kali Yuga, everybody wants to be king, everybody wants to be powerful, everybody wants to, etc. No, nobody does this renunciation so easily. यानी सबको त्याग करके भगवान का भक्ति में जुड़े रहना कोई करता नहीं है. Nobody wants to do such thing. Everybody is so enamored by the material world. Everybody is so attracted. आजकल सब लोग पैसा वाला बनना चाहते हैं, अधिकार चाहते हैं, बहुत कुछ चाहते हैं. But very few want to do bhakti like Priyavrata Maharaj or the 4 Kumaras. That is the whole position of the society. Those days they had difficulty, they had to convince people. जैसे if you read Mukunda Mala Stotra, it is said every shloka, Mukunda Mala Stotra आप लोग पढ़ेंगे तो मोटा मोटी हर श्लोक में यही लिखा जाता है कि कुलशेखर आल्वर, वो भी राजा था, कुलशेखर आल्वर से अभी मैं थक गया हूँ, अभी आगे करना नहीं चाहता हूँ, मैं भी सब कुछ छोड़ना चाहता हूँ, मैं भी भक्ति करना चाहता हूँ, और मेरा एक ही प्रार्थना है कि ना धन, ना दौलत, ना बीवी बच्चे, परिवार, दोस्तों, किसी से भी मेरे दिल में कुछ क्या बोलते हैं, आई डोंट वांट टू हैव एनी अफेक्शन और अट्रैक्शन फॉर एनी ऑफ दीज पीपल. मैं सिर्फ भगवान के चरण कमल और जहाँ पे भगवान का कथा सुनाया जा रहा है, where devotees are there, where they are chanting the pastimes of the Lord, मैं वहाँ रहना चाहता हूँ. ना राजा बनना चाहता हूँ, ना इससे कोई मतलब नहीं है मेरे से. कुलशेखर आल्वर इज ऑल्सो सेइंग. सो बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो they want to be dedicated devotees. But there are also some people who want to be dedicated devotees, but they don't want to have any relationship with the material world. But sometimes Krishna will instruct. जैसे when Arjuna wanted to say, मैं सब कुछ छोड़ के जाऊंगा, Krishna said, no, time has not come for that. You stay, you be a king. Because this is my plan. I want you to fight this battle, win this battle, and you be the king. Time will come for you to leave everything. अभी नहीं. तो जब अर्जुन ये चाहता था कि सब कुछ छोड़ के चला जाऊं, कृष्ण स्टॉप्ड हिम. कृष्ण उसको रोक दिया. बोला अभी टाइम नहीं है. अभी राजा बनो, अभी जंग करो, जीतो, राजा बनो. सब कुछ छोड़ने का समय बाद में आएगा, एक समय आएगा. That time you leave everything. And then you dedicate yourself. But Kali Yuga, people don't like to leave. छोड़ने का मन ही नहीं होता है. जैसे धृतराष्ट्र, बताया जाता है कि उसका इच्छा था कि आखिरी सांस तक वो महल में ही रहे. Let him stay. He wanted to stay in the palace until the last breath. I mean, he's become old man. Still he didn't want to give up. He's not the king also, but he didn't want to give up. इतना attraction है कि वो छोड़ना नहीं चाहता था. तो finally it is said that Vidura came back from his pilgrimage. विदुर जी अपना तीर्थ यात्रा से इसलिए वापस आए ताकि धृतराष्ट्र को थोड़ा ज्ञान देने के लिए. और धृतराष्ट्र को वहाँ घर से, महल से लेके जाने के लिए आया विदुर जी. So it is said that the great Mahatma Vidura came back only to rescue, only to protect Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. So Vidura comes back and then he instructs Dhritarashtra, अभी क्या कर रहे हो तुम? What is the use of this kind of a life? At least now you dedicate your life to Krishna. At least now you dedicate your life to bhakti. So Vidurji comes back just to rescue Dhritarashtra. So if you see Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, so many interesting stories are there. Sometimes they are too much attached, sometimes they are too much detached. जैसे प्रियव्रत महाराज completely detached. He says मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है, मैं सिर्फ भक्ति करूँगा. सनत कुमारस, the four Kumaras of Brahma, they don't want to be Prajapatis. They are completely renunciant. Matlab, they are completely no relationship with this material world. So both cases are there. Sometimes they are very attached, sometimes they are very detached. Sometimes they are carrying on as per the instructions of Krishna. जैसे पांडव लोग, Pandavas, they became the king as per the instructions of Krishna. And when Krishna left, they also left. जब भगवान श्री कृष्ण अपना अवतार को खत्म करके वापस अपना धाम चले गए, पांच पांडव भी अपना राज्य को छोड़ के उत्तर दिशा में यानी हिमालय के दिशा में चले गए. वो लोग भी छोड़ दिया. तो डिवोटी कैलकुलेशन इज व्हाट इज प्लीजिंग टू कृष्ण, व्हाट इज मोर प्लीजिंग टू कृष्ण. भक्त ऐसे ही सोचता है कि क्या करने से भगवान ज्यादा प्रसन्न होंगे. व्हाट इज मोर प्लीजिंग टू कृष्ण, व्हाट गिव्स मोर प्लेजर टू कृष्ण, क्या करने से भगवान ज्यादा प्रसन्न होंगे. दैट इज अ कैलकुलेशन ऑफ डिवोटीज, not anything else. Because Krishna ordered Yudhishthira and Arjuna to fight, they fought the battle. भगवान का आज्ञा था, आदेश था कि तुम युद्ध करो, जंग करो, जीतो और राज शासन करो पांडवों को. That's why they did. So now Brahma is coming and we shall see how he will instruct Priyavrata Maharaj. Priyavrata is saying, मैं ऐसे ही अच्छा हूं, आई एम हैप्पी लाइक दिस. राजा बन के भगवान को भूल जाऊंगा तो क्या फायदा है? व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ लिविंग लाइक दैट? व्हाई शुड आई फॉरगेट कृष्णा? दिस किंगडम कैन गो ऑन एज पर कृष्णा's प्लान, एनीबडी एल्स कैन बिकम द किंग. बट व्हाट अबाउट माई लाइफ? माई लाइफ, आई वांट टू बी डिवोटी. दिस इज माई, आई एम वेरी क्लियर गोल. सो पॉइंट इज दैट मटीरियल वर्ल्ड इज डेंजरस. ये सब क्या बता रहे हैं हमको, क्या सीख सकते हैं? ये भौतिक दुनिया खतरनाक दुनिया है. दिस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड इज वेरी डेंजरस. दिस वर्ल्ड समटाइम्स वी बिकम विक्टिम ऑफ लस्ट, यानी काम. समटाइम्स वी बिकम विक्टिम ऑफ काम, क्रोध, एंगर, लोभ, मोह, sometimes greed, sometimes envy, sometimes jealousy, sometimes pride. This world is dangerous. This is not a safe world. Definitely not a safe world. So all the devotees know this. So they are saying, why we should take risk? ये पार करके, ये संसार को पार करके भक्ति करना है सबको. And we have already crossed. Why go back and fall into this ocean? यानी जीवन का लक्ष्य ये बनना चाहिए कि ये संसार को कैसे हम पार कर सकते हैं. जो पार कर लिया, फिर एक बार पीछे उठ के संसार का सागर में क्यों डूबना है? Why I should fall? I don't want to do that. So this material world is very, very dangerous. पूरा every step can be dangerous. All types of attractions are there. And हम लोग, we are not very strong people. हम लोग इतना शक्तिमान भी नहीं है. Our bhakti is also not very strong. Sometimes money, sometimes women, sometimes power, sometimes authority. Anything can shake us. कुछ भी हमको हिला सकता है. Anything like that can shake us. We are not very strong. जैसे there is no need for some apsara to come and disturb us. We get disturbed by anything. The Vishwamitra, the apsaras had to come to disturb him. We don't need like that. Anything, anybody can disturb us. So this is the pitiable situation. But devotee is special. When devotee goes out, जैसे sometimes they are very blessed. जैसे when Hanuman was searching for Sita in Sri Lanka, it is said that he went into the bedroom of Ravana in search of Sita. Everywhere he went, every corner of the palace, including the bedroom of Ravana. Ravana, the biggest room in his palace was the bedroom. He had so many women, beautiful women. He would kidnap them from wherever he saw. He would kidnap and bring them. So some of the most beautiful women of the whole world were in, not world, of the whole creation were in Ravana's palace. So poor Hanuman is searching for Sita because that is the order of Lord Rama. But he was so pure in his desire and intention. यानी हनुमान का इतना शुद्ध मन था कि though he entered the bedroom of Ravana, though he saw so many beautiful women, somehow the Lord protected him because he was very dedicated and devoted. Bhagwan ka raksha mila usko, and he was not disturbed. Afterwards he comes out of that room and he thinks, मैं क्या कर दिया? Actually I am brahmachari. How can I enter the bedroom of some grihastha? So he tries to remember, what did I see? Then it is said that he can't remember anything. Only thing he can remember is he could not find Sita. He can't remember anything at all of any of the women or anything that he saw. That was a special blessing from the Lord to Hanuman because Lord had blessed him. Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra usko raksha diya. Bhagavan Ramchandra usko क्या बोलते हैं, blessing diya. And then though he went into the bedroom and tried, he was not disturbed. Very few people are there like that. Very, very few who won't be disturbed by what they see in the material world. That is why Priyavrat Maharaj says, मैं राजा नहीं बनूंगा. Actually, this is very good for us. Very good lesson. We should also be very, very careful. Prabhupada says, your material dealings, keep it to the minimum. यानी जितना कम कर सकते हो इस दुनिया से संबंध रख सकते हो उतना अच्छा है आपके लिए, उतना अच्छा है आपके लिए. क्योंकि we don't know what may attract us, what point of time. हम बोल नहीं सकते हैं. So the best thing for a devotee is that he does not have, it is mentioned, Lord Chaitanya says, don't associate with a person who is very friendly, flirtatious dealings with women. Don't associate with such people. Stay away from the kings. That is why Lord Chaitanya refused to meet Pratap Rudra. Pratap Rudra राजा था, वो अच्छा भक्त भी था, but चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने इनकार कर दिया, बोला मैं आपसे नहीं मिलूंगा. You cannot come and meet me because I am sannyasi. Because Lord Chaitanya said even the thought that, oh look how much he is enjoying, he is a king, even that thought should not enter the mind of a devotee. माने चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने सोचा कि अगर मैं राजा से मिलूं, और वो राजा तो राजा है, प्रताप रुद्र राजा है, इनके हजारों सेवक रहते हैं, धन है, दौलत है, अधिकार है, शासन चलाता है. तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु ये सोचा कि मैं अगर उनसे मिलूं तो अगर मुझे भी उसका अधिकार देख के आकर्षण हो जाएगा तो मेरा संन्यास व्रत भंग हो जाएगा. यानी इवन ऐसे सोच भी नहीं आना चाहिए. और चैतन्य इज थिंकिंग ऐसा सोच भी नहीं आना चाहिए कि आई शुड नॉट इवन थिंक सी हाउ मच इज एंजॉइंग. ये भी मेरा संन्यास धर्म का भंग, एक one type of disturbance in the sannyas vrat. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I won't meet Pratap Rudra. मैं प्रताप रुद्र से मिलूंगा नहीं, because he is a raja. Lord Chaitanya is giving example. इसलिए serious devotees don't like to make friends with non-devotees. इसलिए भक्त लोग जो भक्त नहीं है उनसे, उन लोगों से दोस्ती करना नहीं चाहते हैं. वो वैसे भी सेट नहीं होता है. इट डजंट मैच. डिवोटी का सोच विचार ही अलग है, विचारधारा ही अलग है. डिवोटी का क्या बोलते हैं, डिवोटी का लाइफस्टाइल अलग है, सब कुछ अलग है. हाउ कैन वी मैच, हाउ कैन वी ब्लेंड विद पीपल हु आर कंप्लीटली नॉन डिवोटीज? होता ही नहीं है. सो डिवोटीज डोंट लाइक टू एसोसिएट विद पीपल हु आर नॉन डिवोटीज. यानी जो भक्त नहीं है उनसे दूर रहना ही चाहते हैं. एंड दैट इज द सेफेस्ट वे. मेक फ्रेंडशिप विद डिवोटीज, मेक फ्रेंडशिप विद अदर डिवोटीज. एक्चुअली वी शुड मेक फ्रेंडशिप विद सीरियस डिवोटीज. जो सीरियस है उन लोगों से दोस्ती करना है, नॉट कैजुअल डिवोटीज. सी दिस मटीरियल वर्ल्ड इज ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ रिस्क इज देयर. एक नहीं तो दूसरा. एंड माया इज, प्रभुपद सेज माया इज कॉन्स्टेंटली ट्राइंग. हमेशा कोशिश कर रहा है आपको गिराने के लिए. माया हमेशा ट्राई कर रही है आपको गिराने के लिए. इफ यू डोंट फॉल फॉर लस्ट देन माया विल ट्राई पावर, देन अधिकार, देन दिस, देन दैट, देन दिस, और envy, something or other. Maya keeps trying. And then Prabhupada says every time you pass the test, Krishna is very pleased. हर बार जब आप परीक्षा में पास हो जाते हो, कृष्ण, भगवान श्री कृष्ण becomes very pleased. Finally, it was so difficult to convince Lord Chaitanya to meet King Pratap Rudra, Ramananda Raya, Nityananda Prabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. All of them had to convince Lord Chaitanya to meet Pratap Rudra. Actually, it is said that Lord Chaitanya was convinced that Pratap Rudra was a very great devotee. यानी चैतन्य महाप्रभु का दिल में, चैतन्य महाप्रभु ये जानते थे कि प्रताप रुद्र एक बड़ा भक्त है, मेरा एक श्रेष्ठ भक्त है. फिर भी चैतन्य महाप्रभु मिलने के लिए इनकार कर रहे थे. जब भी प्रताप रुद्र के बारे में सुनते थे, चैतन्य महाप्रभु बहुत प्रसन्न हो जाते थे अंदर, क्योंकि प्रताप रुद्र भक्तों का सेवा इतनी अच्छी तरह करते थे. He used to serve the devotees so nicely. All the devotees who came from Bengal, so many ways he used to serve the devotees. इतनी अलग अलग तरीके में भगवान का भक्तों का सेवा कर रहा था प्रताप रुद्र. फिर भी लॉर्ड चैतन्य रिफ्यूज टू मीट हिम. ही सेड नहीं, मिलना नहीं, आई एम सन्यासी, हम नहीं मिलेंगे. फाइनली लॉर्ड चैतन्य एग्रीज टू मीट हिम. सो हम लोग भी ऐसे ही रहना. बिकॉज सी, अगर हम कुछ चाहते हैं, हम इतना ही हमारा दिल में रहना कि मे आई बिकम ए नाइस डिवोटी, मे आई सर्व अनकंडीशनली. अगर हम कुछ चाहते हैं कि हम इतना ही प्रार्थना करना चाहिए कि मैं एक अच्छा भक्त बनूं, निस्वार्थ सेवा करते रहूं और उत्साह के साथ भक्ति पूर्वक सेवा करते रहूं। वैष्णवों का, गुरु का, अपना गुरु साधु शास्त्र का सेवा करते रहूं। यही रहना चाहिए। दैट इज द ओनली डिजायर डिवोटी शुड हैव। बट देन देयर इज अ बिग डिस्टर्बेंस व्हेन वी मीट दिस नॉन डिवोटीज। ये तो भक्त लोग, ये लोग जो भक्त नहीं है उनसे मिलते रहेंगे, सो देन स्लोली दैट कंटामिनेशन विल कम इन आवर हार्ट। मतलब वही सोच विचार हमारे दिल में भी आने का मौका है। सच अ चांस इज देयर। सो दैट इज वाई लॉर्ड चैतन्य इज टीचिंग अस अ लेसन, डोंट एसोसिएट विद नॉन डिवोटीज अननेसेसरली। अगर ज़रूरत नहीं है तो जो भक्त नहीं है उनसे दूर रहना, उनसे दूर रहना। बट देखिए ये भी सोचना चाहिए, सी इट इज़ लाइक प्रॉपर सेस प्रिटेंडर, मतलब भागवत गीता में भी है। हम आश्रम में रहते हैं परंतु हम हमेशा ये सोचते रहते हैं कि सम नॉन डिवोशनल थॉट, किसी से ईर्ष्या, किसी के ऊपर गुस्सा, थिंग्स लाइक दैट। वी हैव एंगर अगेंस्ट अदर डिवोटीज, डेफिनेटली वी हैव एनवी टुवर्ड्स डिवोटीज हु आर मोर सक्सेसफुल। So that is also dangerous. See, though you may be in the ashram, but that's a material calculation. यानी अगर हम आप आश्रम में रहते हैं फिर भी दूसरी भक्तों के बारे में बुरा सोचेंगे, दूसरी भक्तों के बारे में बुरा सोचेंगे तो फायदा क्या हुआ? Then it is as good as associating with non-devotee environment. Devotee is always, Prabhupada says repeatedly, devotee celebrates. दूसरों का कामयाबी देख के हम लोग खुशी हो जाना चाहिए। वी शुड बिकम हैप्पी। ओ वेरी नाइस, ही हैज बिल्ट अ ब्यूटीफुल टेम्पल, मे कृष्ण ब्लेस हिम। इतना अच्छा खूबसूरत मंदिर बनाया है उसने, अच्छा है। कितने हजारों संख्या में लोग भक्त बन सकते हैं उस मंदिर में जाके। ऐसे सोचना चाहिए। वी कैन नॉट बिकम एनवियस। अगर हम ईर्ष्या बढ़ेंगे हमारा, देन वी आर ऑल्सो एसोसिएटिंग दिस, इस बिकम्स नॉन डिवोशनल, वो भक्ति नहीं है। So devotee should develop the quality of appreciating also all the time. Very nice, they are doing such wonderful service. Otherwise we are also associating with non-devotional mood. So here the great Brahma is coming to convince Priyavrata. Brahma खुद आ रहे हैं. So that is why it is said that डिवोटी जो भक्त है, जो शिष्य है, he also waits for the instructions of his guru, and when the guru gives instructions he becomes attached to the instructions of guru, attached to the instructions of guru, and that attachment is his protection. अगर गुरु का आदेश के बारे में हम ज़्यादा सोचेंगे वही आदेश हमारा रक्षा भी करेगा। समझे मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? गुरु का आदेश के बारे में हम सोचते रहेंगे, वो गुरु का आदेश ही हमारा रक्षा कवच बन जाएगा। सो दैट बिकम्स आवर प्रोटेक्शन। सो दैट इज वाई पीपल आर वेरी सीरियस व्हेन दे गेट सम इंस्ट्रक्शन फ्रॉम देयर गुरु, sadhus and like that, primarily guru, and they become attached. They become completely attached to they try to become, at least serious devotees try to become attached to the instructions of their guru, and then they focus, and that attachment is what protects them. If they don't have attachment, then there is risk. अगर गुरु का आदेश के बारे में हम ज़्यादा नहीं सोचेंगे और पूरा पूरा क्या वही हमारा लक्ष्य बनना चाहिए, वो लक्ष्य नहीं बनेगा तो हम हमेशा खतरे में ही रहेंगे. देन वी आर ऑलवेज अंडर रिस्क, वी आर ऑलवेज अंडर थ्रेट एंड रिस्क. सो आवर आइडिया शुड बी टू बिकम अटैच्ड टू इंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ गुरु. जैसे हनुमान जी, he was attached to the instruction or request of Lord Rama to find Sita. That's all. He was completely focused on that nothing disturbed him. Nothing disturbed him. Though it was very, very difficult at all points of time. हर जगह हनुमान जी को इतना तकलीफ, इतना मुश्किलें को सामना करना पड़ा. फिर भी हनुमान जी, because he was completely focused on Lord Rama's instruction, that is what saved him. वही उनका रक्षा कवच बन गया. While crossing the ocean, he met what's her name? He actually meets two demons. But at all points of time, Hanuman was protected because he was completely attached to the order of his authority. That was Lord Rama and Sugriva. So ultimately what protects us in this material world is of course is our sincerity, our sadhana, our this. But more than all this is our attachment to Guru's instruction. हम लोग इस दुनिया में भक्त बन के रहना चाहते हैं तो सबसे ज़्यादा रक्षा हमको इसी से मिलते हैं कि जब हम गुरु का आज्ञा पालन करने के लिए निरंतर प्रयास करेंगे. गुरु का आज्ञा पालन करने के लिए हम निरंतर प्रयास करेंगे. दैट इज आवर बिगेस्ट प्रोटेक्शन. Completely dedicated means completely protected. If you are completely dedicated to follow the instructions of your Guru, then that means you are completely protected. And then it is said, when somebody shows complete dedication, it is said every step of his life the Lord will try to protect. यानी हर एक कदम पे भगवान उसका रक्षा करेंगे. Every step, whether it is difficulty, whether it is karma, whether it is a track, whatever it may be, the Lord will try to protect. If the person is very dedicated. So the key element is dedication. Mane, you have to see, what do you say for dedication in Hindi? I mean Bengali? Huh? Dedication. How dedicated we are to the Guru's instruction. Huh? Sankalp. Drida Sankalp. Drida Sankalp is determination.
Dedication means utsarga.
Huh? Utsarga. Guru Ajna? Bengali lo Guru Ajna antara. Thank you. నువ్వు బెంగాలీ ఎప్పుడు నేర్చుకున్నావు అది చెప్పు నాకు. అన్ని భాషలు ఒకటే అంటున్నావా? అన్ని భాషలు ఒకటేనా? అన్ని భాషలు ఒకటే అంటే అది మాయవాద తత్వం తెలుసా? ఓకే, డెడికేషన్, డిటాచ్మెంట్, అటాచ్మెంట్ అంతా ఒకటేనా? దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో మాయవాద. निष्ठा. Google meant Nishtha. Google Guru. So the key element is dedication. Please understand dedication. Matlab Nishtha. Yeah, Drida Sankalp. Guru has told, let us try to follow. That is our Raksha Kavach. वही हमारे लिए रक्षा कवच बनेगा. देखिए जिस भक्त ऐसा जीता है, his life is very beautiful, his life is very blissful, his life is very happy, his life is full of adventure, challenges and adventure. His life is full of success also. That devotee who is very dedicated. देखिए हमारा कामयाबी comes from our dedication. Our success comes because we are dedicated. Our success comes because Krishna recognizes how dedicated somebody is. It does not come by our own effort. हमारा प्रयास से कामयाबी नहीं मिलेगा, सिर्फ हमारा प्रयास से. प्रयास भी रहना, डेडिकेशन भी रहना और भगवान का कृपा भी रहना. So when we have all these things, we are our endeavor, our dedication, our serious effort, and the Lord recognizes that and the blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas, then somebody will be very successful. Now, what is the meaning of success in devotion? That is also important. Success in devotion means staying as a simple, humble devotee. Remaining, being able to remain as a simple, humble, dedicated devotee. कामयाबी का असली मतलब है जब कोई एक सरल, एक निष्ठा भक्त बन के रह सकता है. कामयाबी का ये मतलब नहीं है कि बड़ा मंदिर बना दिया ये. हाँ, वो कभी कभी अपने आप भगवान का कृपा से होता है. बट ये सब बनाने के बाद if you are not dedicated and if you become arrogant or proud or something, then there is difficulty. That may not be the best situation. The best situation is when somebody remains all his life as a dedicated, humble servant, slave of his Guru. Guru का दास बन के रहना आखिरी सांस तक. Always become servant. That is the meaning of, that is the real success in spiritual life. आध्यात्मिक जीवन में सफलता का मतलब यही है, वो जो भक्त आखिरी सांस तक, आखिरी क्षण तक गुरु का आज्ञा पालन करने में बहुत उत्सुक है, बहुत डेडिकेटेड है, वही कामयाब डिवोटी है, नॉट अदर थिंग्स. इतना पैसा कमाया, इतना ये, दीज थिंग्स आर नॉट सो इम्पॉर्टेंट. वो अपने आप होगा. दैट हैपन्स बाय कृष्णस ग्रेस, कृष्णस अरेंजमेंट. जैसे अर्जुन युद्ध करते करते जीत गया, वो भगवान कृष्ण का कृपा से. कभी कभी हार गया, एक बार तो हार ही गया जब कृष्ण भगवान नहीं थे, युद्ध करने के लिए चल निकला अर्जुन और हार गया. वो हार और जीत का मतलब नहीं है. इसका मतलब यह नहीं है कि अर्जुन उस समय अच्छा भक्त नहीं था. नहीं, he was the same Arjun, but why did he lose? That is Krishna's plan. So our challenge is how dedicated we are. How dedicated we are, how surrendered we are. That dedication, that surrender, that fire, that eagerness, enthusiasm is our real Raksha Kavach in Kali Yuga, in this world. हम लोग ये चाहते हैं कि भक्त बन के रहना. हम लोग ये भी चाहते हैं कि I don't want to get deviated from bhakti. But how is it possible? It is possible when we become dedicated to Guru's instruction. And that is our Raksha Kavach in Kali Yuga. Or rather any other yuga, any time. हमारा असली रक्षा कवच है गुरु का आज्ञा पालन करना. That's all. Actually, a devotee doesn't have to do anything much. Just become dedicated to follow the instructions of Guru. And then that becomes his biggest Raksha Kavach. So Priyavrat Maharaj is asking, you want me to be the king? क्या आप लोग मुझे ये वर देंगे कि even if I become a king, I will not lose my devotion. मेरा भक्ति कम नहीं होगा. ये वर देने के लिए आप लोग तैयार है क्या? That you can see in the next few shlokas. Priyavrat Maharaj is asking. So whatever happens, if we have dedication, that becomes a challenge and that becomes a big step forward. Whatever challenge comes in the life of a devotee, if the devotee has dedication, that becomes a step forward. यानी आगे जाने का एक रास्ता है. It is a step forward. So ultimately we have to see that one has to have dedication. Like for example, Pratap Rudra, he finally succeeded in meeting Lord Chaitanya because he was so dedicated, he was so humble, he was so, what is the right word? He was so, helplessly dependent on Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya accepted, he says, come, I'll give you special blessings. Though Lord Chaitanya initially said, I won't meet you. Finally, Lord Chaitanya had to accept and meet Pratap Rudra and bless him because of his dedication. So Bhagavatam also is like that. Many stories are there. Because of the dedication of devotees, Krishna goes out of the way to protect them. भगवान बहुत दूर तक जाने के लिए तैयार है अपना भक्तों का रक्षा करने के लिए. The Lord is ready to do practically anything to protect his devotees. No doubt at all. Like when the Lord appeared as Krsna in the prison house of Kamsa. So he looked at his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, and he reminded them, basically, your Sutapa and Prishni. That means in your previous life also you were my father and mother. So Krishna tells, you will be my father and mother all the time, in all my births in this material world, because you are so lovingly dedicated to me. So Krishna says, all my life, whenever I appear, you both will be my father and mother. So Krishna rewards devotees for their dedication. Prishni and Sutapa. So as many times as I will incarnate, you will be my father and mother. Because Krishna recognizes their sincerity. So when somebody becomes sincere and dedicated, the Lord also is very eager to reward them. Like even before the completion of the battle, Lord Rama declares, Vibhishana will be the king of Lanka. Because he was very deeply moved by the dedication and devotion of Vibhishana. युद्ध खत्म होने से पहले ही विभीषण को घोषणा कर दिया, दुनिया को घोषणा कर दिया कि विभीषण आने वाले एक समय में राजा बनेगा लंका का. तब युद्ध प्रारंभ भी नहीं हुआ था. Because Lord Rama is very, very pleased with the dedication of Vibhishana. So, like this, Priyavrata Maharaj is such a nice example. एक अच्छा उदाहरण है हमारे लिए. As much as possible, we should be in devotee association. जितना होता है उतना. Actually, 24 hours we have to be in devotee association. All the time we should think in terms of how to fulfill the instructions of our Guru. हमेशा यही सोचना चाहिए कि गुरु का आज्ञा किस तरह हम पालन कर सकते हैं. This is the best protection for a devotee. This is the best protection for a devotee. Because it is not possible. जैसे we cannot go and live in a forest, jungle, cut away from everything. It doesn't work like that. Because if we live like that, then there is risk when we come back into this material world or we meet somebody in the material world, again we may develop attraction. Again we may develop attraction. So that's why Prabhupada said, ये artificial sannyas लेना, क्या बोलते हैं, बाबा जी बनना, वृंदावन चले जाना, ये what is the use? Real transformation should be in the heart, not you live, you externally shift to Vrindavan. And Prabhupada said, same thing you'll do again. Then there you'll fall for some other woman, marry her. Prabhupada said, this is all not good. First, internally. When you're ready, you'll get an order from your guru. Now you go, you become vanaprasthi or something like that. But otherwise, just stay where you are. Main thing is you follow the instructions of your guru. If you don't understand this, what is there? What can I teach you? Wherever you are, follow the instructions of your guru. That is real dedication. That is real purity. That is real devotion. That is real success. Not that you externally leave and go and then Prabhupada used to say, what is the use? Then you will marry, you'll fall in love with somebody, love or whatever. You'll develop some attraction for somebody there. Prabhupada said that is Marakat Vairagya. That is immature Vairagya. What is the use of such Vairagya? Real dedication, real test is, are you dedicated to your Guru's instructions? That is all. The more dedicated you are, the more protected you become. The more protected you become from all possible attractions of this material world. And because actually, when Hanuman is going to Lanka, he has a meeting with Lord Rama, he pays obeisances. He goes around Rama and Sugriva 3 times, pays obeisances to them, takes their permission. Lord Rama then gives a ring that was given to him by Sita and says, you take this. I'm very confident that you will be successful in your mission. तुम जा रहे हो सीता को ढूंढने के लिए, तुम कामयाब होगा. क्योंकि आपका दिल में इतना भक्ति है, you're so special devotee, you will be successful. Then Hanuman also will pray saying that I have no other desire except to fulfill this instruction of yours. मेरे दिल में और कुछ है ही नहीं. मेरा एक ही सोच है कि मैं अगर लंका जाऊंगा तो मैं आपका सेवा में अगर कामयाबी मिलेगा तो I will become very happy. But I am going there only for your sake. I am going there as your representative. So please bless me and protect me all moments of my journey. So this is the sign of a devotee. And devotee is also not overconfident. Arey main nothing can bother me, nothing can disturb me. We should never be overconfident. I am great. I am chanting for so many years. I am doing this, I am doing that. Then that is called ahankar. Because any time we can fall to material world. Mamevamsha jiva loke. What is that sloka? No. This energy of mine is difficult to overcome. Daivayesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. An experienced, mature devotee will never be overconfident. He will say, Mama, I may be a devotee for 30 years or 40 years or 40 generations also, but I have to do my sadhana properly. Chant my rounds, do my sadhana, do my reading, follow my instruction. Because any moment, I can also become devious. I can also develop material thoughts. I can also become fault finder. I can also find fault in everybody, including my own guru. I can find fault even in my guru. My mind is capable of finding faults in everybody. Easily. Easily. No effort required. I can find faults in anybody, including my guru. So devotee is never overconfident also. That is another sign, very dangerous sign. So he always remains like one simple, insignificant servant. So Priyavrata is asking, will you give me that blessing? That is all I want. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Any questions? Yeah? So your question is how to develop tolerance. Tolerance towards what? Okay, difficult situations in life. See, there are some type of devotees who always pray for difficult situations. They say, my situation is too comfortable, I don't like it. They say, I want to have more difficulties. So that I remain humble, I remain helplessly dependent, I don't become arrogant, I don't take risk in this material world, because I can see the power of karma acting on me. Sometimes they pray like that. They say that maybe the best thing for me is to have some difficulty all the time, challenges, difficulties, etc. So I'm always reminded of how dangerous this material world is. And I always pray with a very deep mood of dependence and helplessness. You know something? Actually in this world, everybody's situation is helplessly horrible. But they're not aware, they are ignorant. Nobody's situation in this material world is safe. Nobody. Actually, there's nobody in this world who can say, okay, now I am safe and secure. Because we don't know when, what will happen, when some disaster can strike us. So, as an alert, mature devotee will always be thinking that let me hide behind the lotus feet of my Guru, Vaishnavas, etc., Guru Sadhu, deities, etc. And let me continue my devotional service. And the other thing is that, see, most of our challenging circumstances come also because we have a very deep interest in some material dealings. It may be related to the families, this one or that one, something like that. It may be because of some frustration, etc. Sometimes like that. So actually Prabhupada also encourages that as much as possible decrease your material dealings, because material dealings always have two sides of the coin. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's terrible, sometimes it's horrible. So we have to watch out. Is this because of my material ambition, desire, some plan, frustration of some plan of mine or something like that? But sometimes it is just plain bad karma also, some karma of us that we have faced. But you see, no matter what our situation, do we have any other choice other than to come to Krishna, other than to chant His name, other than to go and take shelter of Guru and Krishna and devotional service? We really don't have a choice. Where can we go? King Prataprudra, when Lord Chaitanya refused to meet him, he became so heartbroken. He says, I don't want to stay as a king. I'll leave everything. I'll take a begging bowl, go street to street, beg. What's the use of life if Lord Chaitanya is not willing to give his mercy, shelter, and doesn't give me chance to have darshan of his lotus feet? So for him that was a big, what shall I say, challenge, or he didn't know how to face it. He broke down. And he broke down so much that because of that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Nityananda Prabhu and others had to go to Lord Chaitanya and say, please don't treat him like this. His heart is broken. He said he will become a beggar and go away. Actually, he's a nice devotee. He's such a sweet devotee. And when Lord Chaitanya hears his dedication, he says he wants to become, then Lord Chaitanya's heart will melt internally. His heart will melt internally. Actually, Prabhupada also says that deities manifest just to protect the devotees. Because we get chance to serve the deities, and the deities reciprocate by giving protection. And then also it is mentioned that a devotee should live with some hope. That maybe now, maybe today, maybe now onwards, I will improve, my dedication to my Guru and Guru's mission increases. Like that. He lives in that kind of a hope. And then it is said that that devotee who lives with that kind of a hope, he becomes eligible for more mercy of the deities. But one important principle is there. Very important principle. A devotee never complains. That you should be very careful. You can't complain against your friends, your relatives, your colleagues, your boss, your family, your this, except about yourself. You understand what I'm saying? We can't blame anybody else for what's going on in our life. That is the starting point. We can't blame anybody else for what's going on in our life except ourselves. Somebody may actually spread dirty stories about you which are not true. But a devotee will stink. Maybe I did that to him in my last life. That's why it's coming back. The first step in transformation of one's karma is what? Huh? No? Don't complain. We take it that I am getting much less than what I deserve. The moment a devotee wins that battle, very important battle, stops blaming anybody for anything that's happening in his life, except reflecting, introspecting, and concluding that if something is happening to me, it has the sanction of the Lord and I am responsible. It is something that I deserve. I can't blame anybody. It may be unfairly you have been targeted. Untruthfully something has been said. Very, very bad things have been said. But nevertheless a devotee will say, I can't blame anybody for this. The moment a devotee wins that battle, he is very, very fortunate. He is blessed. The normal tendency is to blame everybody else except yourself. Except yourself. So the moment you stop blaming the world and accept it as, and the other thing is of course accept it as the mercy of the Lord. I deserve it. Krsna has some reason for doing it, which is why it's happening. The Lord has some reason. Maybe I was arrogant. Maybe I was full of pride. Maybe I hurt somebody. Maybe I did this. Maybe I did that. Accept it. Gracefully accept your share of pain and suffering. Then you've learned the lesson that Krishna wants to teach you. You understand? That's the lesson that Krishna wants to teach you. That you become accountable. You accept, gracefully accept that you are accountable. You are responsible for what's happening in your life. And that's why a devotee is very cautious in his dealings with other Vaishnavas. He says, even accidentally, I don't want to hurt anybody. How to be like that is not very easy, because it's easy to sit here and say that. But how to actually practice that is not very easy. But a devotee will at least have that value system in his head. Let me not accidentally also offend, insult, make fun, judgmental, become judgmental, etc., 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 of another devotee. 1 minute, 1 minute. You got it? And the moment you win this battle at that level, then your transformation starts. Does it make sense? Thank you. Yeah, somebody.
Prabhuji, when Hanuman went to Lanka to give the ring of Lord Shri Ram, so why did Hanuman didn't get Sita Devi from Lanka?
Why did?
Hanuman get Sita Devi from Lanka.
Why he didn't bring?
Yeah, he could have been.
Very nice question. Very nice question. So this is discussed in the Valmiki Ramayana, why he doesn't bring. Later on it is said that, in the Valmiki Ramayana it is said that Hanuman doesn't bring Sita Devi because Lord Rama's order was to not find and rescue, find and report. Find where she is, come back and tell me. If Lord Rama had said find and rescue, he would have rescued. But Lord Rama had said find and come back and report to me. So accordingly, Hanuman will find Sita, identify where she is staying, give her a message of hope, show her the ring, collect some ornaments from her which he wants to return. She wants to give it back to Rama, and he comes back. Got it? So that means just follow what Krishna wants you, as given in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Good question. Yes, Prabhuji, you had a question at the back.
So Lord Chaitanya had a prayer to meet with the king, but he was the incarnation of Krishna.
Huh?
Lord Chaitanya was the incarnation of Lord Krishna. But why he has a prayer to meet with the king?
Because Lord Chaitanya appeared in the form of a sannyasi. He appeared in the form of a sannyasi, and sannyasi has very strict regulations, restrictions as to whom he can meet, whom he has to meet, whom he can talk to, etc. So Lord Chaitanya feels that to associate with somebody who is constantly dealing with politics and power and authority and money and this and that and enjoying those kind of things, Lord Chaitanya said it may contaminate my thoughts. I may also be subtly attracted. See how powerful he is, how much he is enjoying. Lord Chaitanya thought that even that thought should not come into the mind of a sannyasi. Even that thought, because he was a sannyasi. So he followed the sannyas dharma perfectly. So correctly and completely and perfectly. He didn't come as Krishna. When he came as Krishna, he was living with the kings. He was living as a kshatriya. He was with Arjuna, all the time with other kings, Dwarka, etc. But when he comes as a sannyasi, he follows the sannyas dharma. So every incarnation has a specific mood. Lord Rama, he came to establish certain principles. That's why he's called Maryada Purushottam. Like that, every incarnation has a specific mood. So Lord Chaitanya as a devotee came to establish Sankirtan, to show his compassion on all the living entities and also give caution, saying don't carelessly associate with the material world and think nothing will happen to you. It will have an impact. Don't carelessly think that nothing can happen to me because now I am chanting Hare Krishna, so I am protected. No. You can do as per the instructions given by your authority. Don't take unnecessary, adventurous risks. Okay, good question. Any other question? Yeah? Yeah, I didn't get the last part. Which one?
Devotee wants to serve Lord Krishna again and again by coming in this world. But this world is called Dukhalayam Sasatam. So by getting that much and also why devotee wants to come again and again, not to ask to go to school.
You see, I have mentioned this before. For a sincere, dedicated devotee, who does not know anything other than his Guru's instruction, this is not Dukhalayam. There's no difference between this lok, this Vaikuntha, nothing. For a pure devotee, everything is the same. For a pure devotee who is completely dedicated to Guru and Krishna, Krishna's mission, Guru's mission, this is not the material world. This is, you can say, this is his, what can I say? There's a transcendental non-difference between this world and the Vaikuntha world. Of course, Vaikuntha world is different, but it is a achintya beda. It is same yet different. But the fact of the matter is, for a devotee of the Lord who is completely dedicated to his Guru, serving his Guru, Prabhupada said many times, Vaikuntha atmosphere can be created here when there is perfection of devotion, when there is perfect relationship between Guru and Shishya. Vaikuntha atmosphere can be created here. यानी जब एक भक्त अपना गुरु का आदेश का पालन करने के लिए संपूर्ण तरह बद्ध है और गुरु भी एक परिपूर्ण गुरु है, परफेक्ट गुरु आचार्य है, तो Prabhupada says that is Vaikuntha atmosphere. मतलब वैकुंठ के समान है, may not be actually Vaikuntha, but it's non-different from Vaikuntha. So it is not, it is for a dedicated guru, for a dedicated devotee who is under a very competent guru, there's no difference between this and any other world. Any other, for that matter, any other yuga also. They are transcendentally situated. He knows nothing other than Guru and Guru's instructions. He serves his Guru, and his Guru knows nothing other than his Guru's instructions. So he's actually transcended. That's called Jivan Mukta. That is called liberation in this material world itself. If the Guru so desires and he summons his disciple or whomever as per Krishna's wish, definitely such a devotee will be protected. So to whatever degree we are dedicated, to that degree we are free from the influence of Maya. To whatever degree we are dedicated, to that degree we are free from the influences of Maya. Okay, good question. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for your answers. Adding to following to the question which Mataji asked, like you about tolerance. So you mentioned like if we should not complain and difficulties will always come. So normally maybe there's some my understanding is not clear or something, but so like we normally pray to the Lord like please remove our trouble. So should we pray like that or something?
Yeah, see, we can say remove our difficulties, but a devotee's definition of difficulties are different. For a devotee, the definition of difficulty is the fact that I can be very easily distracted from the mission of my Guru. The fact that I have very, very powerfully deep-rooted lusty thoughts. This takes me away from the path of dedication and service to my Guru. My difficulty is that I become attracted to power or authority or... This is my difficulty. My difficulty is that I also become envious. I'm a very envious soul. A deep-rooted envy. My difficulty is that I'm very stubborn and arrogant and I think too much of myself. I think I'm the most perfect person. Nobody can teach me. There's no need for me to learn anything from anybody. I know more than anybody else. So I have that kind of a inbuilt arrogance. My difficulty is that I'm not willing to bend my head down and surrender absolutely, completely to the instructions of my Guru. So the definition of difficulties is different. A devotee will never say that I didn't pass in this exam, I didn't get promotion. That's not his difficulty. Difficulty is that I find fault with everybody except myself. I'm a professional, hardcore fault finder. I can't live without it. I can very easily find fault with anybody and everybody all the time, without any effort. Difficulty is that I'm very selfish or whatever, a devotee is very clear that these are the things, anything that comes in the way of his complete, absolute, dedicated surrender to his guru is the real difficulty. And devotee is very clear, that is the difficulty. Not some material ups and downs. You won't ask. No. No, it has nothing to do with Shukracharya asked, if you give away all your kingdom, what will happen to me? I will have difficulty. Bali Maharaj said, that if I don't give, then that is a big difficulty, because that means I am more attached to this than to Krishna, than to serving the Supreme Lord. That is the real difficulty. And as for what will happen to you, maybe you go and find some other disciple who will follow your advice, but I cannot follow yours. I want to be dedicated. What will happen? I'll see. Let us see what happens. I'll give everything that I have, I will give it to my Guru and Krishna. What happens later? I will see. Krishna has some plan. If he doesn't have also, that doesn't mean I won't give. I'll first find out what is the plan he has for me, then I'll give. No. I will give. Give. I'll give everything I have to Krishna, my Guru. And then I'll live. I'll see what happens. Actually, deep-rooted lust. Everything starts from lust. Lust and anger. Greed. Because from lust comes attachment. Because we are attached, then we become envious. The object of our lust is not with us, then we become envious about some person who is enjoying that object. Then once we possess that, we want to enjoy. And enjoy means expanding our material presence. So devotee is blessed. Devotee is very pure. Devotee is a pure soul. Devotee in the parampara has a completely different value system. He understands and recognizes that his real enemy is lust, greed, envy, anger, pride, arrogance, fault-finding nature, lethargy, laziness, etc., not anything else. Okay, good question. Yeah.
Actually, I have one question.
Did it answer you?
Yes, sir. Dedication you were speaking about, like Lord Hanuman has firm unflinching devotion to Lord Ram. But it is material life, so we have the dedication towards God, but it is always up and down. So how we can have a focused and concentrated devotion so that we can have committed things. Sometimes we think I'll get something better, then I can have a devoted life. So how we can make this understanding in a better way and completely dedicate to God.
Yeah, there is this tendency that let me settle down first, then I'll become more dedicated. Let me have enough money in the bank, then I'll become more dedicated. Let me have some property from which I can regularly earn money, then I'll become more dedicated. Actually, in one sense, I cannot say that it is completely wrong to think like that. It's okay. But the fear is that when you achieve that, your goalpost will shift. You know what I mean? Then you'll say, no, not now. Let my children settle down when my grandchildren settle down. So that's the power of Maya. Maya will just very subtly trick you. And you will start, just shift the goalpost. That, let me just take care of this and that. Then I'll become dedicated. This drama can go on for many lifetimes. For many, many lifetimes. Not one lifetime. This lifetime, anyway, it's too late now, so let me see next lifetime, or whatever it is. So this business of procrastination, that means putting it away, postponing the decision to become dedicated. At all points of time, some question will be there of this nature. Let me settle that, then I'll become dedicated. Let this happen, then I'll become dedicated. At all points of time, some new proposal Maya can come up with. Let my family settle down, let this happen, let that happen. Let Russia-Ukraine war stop. It can be all kinds of funny things like that. But, actually everything is so absurd. It's just like saying, let the Russia-Ukraine war stop and I'll be... For a soul which is belonging to Krishna, everything is external. Prabhupada says superfluous. Superfluous means, has actually no impact. It has nothing to do with you, the real you. The real you is only meant to serve Krishna. It's only meant to serve Krishna. So, if you ask me, I will say, see, that is one level of bhakti. It's not wrong. Let me settle down, then I'll become serious. But the risk is that you'll never be satisfied. You'll never be satisfied with no matter what you have. You'll never be satisfied. Was Ravana satisfied? He had unbelievable wealth and power and everything, but he was not satisfied. This is what Prahlad Maharaj tells Hiranyakashipu. He said, what do you, I mean, you can, your name will terrorize the whole world, but are you satisfied? Are you happy? You're a slave of your enemy. Your enemy is lust, greed and anger, etc. You're a slave of your senses. So Maya is very, actually unbelievably tricky Maya is. You can keep coming up with new ideas. Let this happen, then you can settle down, then you have settled down, then you can do this, then you can do that. Maya has innumerable tricks up her sleeve. So one thing is to, like I said, sometimes it goes on for several lifetimes. Or, somebody gets special mercy of Lord Chaitanya, of Guru. Prabhupada says that that's when, there's that famous song he wrote, Vrindavana Bhajana. I don't know how many of you have read that. In that song, Prabhupada says this. He says, I thought maybe I should settle down, I have family. Then he says, Krishna showed the ugly side of everything. When I just lost money and I lost everything, I realized that nobody is mine. Nobody is mine. There's no respect for somebody who doesn't have money or some success. Nothing is mine. Everything is one big illusion that I had. And I was doing so much for them. I was sacrificing myself for them. I'd given up dedicated devotional service for them, thinking, let me do this, let me help them settle down. Now when I lost money for some reason by arrangement of the Lord, and I suddenly realized that I have nobody. There's nobody except Krishna. So Vrindavana Bhajana gives a stark reminder for those who say, let me settle down, then I will do bhakti. Saying there's no such thing as settling down. But we can't take major decisions unless it's authorized by our Guru. Because only our Guru knows how dedicated we are. Guru Maharaj says we are less dedicated and renunciant than we think we are. We think we are big renunciant. No, we are really not. If some facility is withdrawn from a devotee's life, then you can see his real Swarupa. Some small facility is withdrawn, then you can see his real Swarupa. You ask him to shift from one chair to another chair also, then you can see sometimes their Swarupa. We are not so renunciant as we think we are. So one thing is to postpone like this. Another thing is to actually show some urgency. But then see, everything depends on quality of sadhana. If we chant well and read well, especially Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, then we can see clearly which way we are heading. Depends on the quality of sadhana. If our sadhana is very deela, very casual, then this drama and Maya can effortlessly stretch us for many lifetimes. But if our sadhana is very tight, then we become restless in material situations. We say, man, I want to give this up. Completely restless we become. Okay? Rantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava.